Welcome to Reddit family. Ever been left out of a family event you thought you'd never miss? This story's from Reddit about a woman who got uninvited to her little brother's graduation party and decided to take her life into her own hands instead. It's a tale of hurt, self-worth, and finding freedom in the most unexpected places. Stick around, because this one's got a twist you won't see coming. Let's call her Laura. She's 32, living in a small apartment in a dusty Texas town, the kind of place where everyone knows your name and your business. Laura's a high school English teacher, spends her days grading papers and trying to get teenagers excited about Shakespeare. She's the oldest of 3 siblings, always the responsible one, the one who stepped up when her parents needed help. Her little brother, Tommy, just graduated from college with a degree in engineering, and Laura's been there for him every step of the way, driving him to campus tours when he was still in high school, helping him with his essays, even lending him money for textbooks when he was short. She's proud of him, prouder than she can put into words, and she's been looking forward to his graduation party for months. Laura's family has always been close, or at least that's what she thought. Growing up, their house was full of noise, her dad grilling in the backyard, her mom baking pies for every occasion, Laura and her siblings running around with the neighborhood kids. She remembers the summer Tommy was born, how she'd sit by his crib for hours, reading him stories, even though he couldn't understand a word. She remembers teaching him how to ride a bike, holding the back of the seat as he wobbled down the street, cheering louder than anyone when he finally got it. And she remembers the late nights during his college years, staying up with him on the phone, editing his papers, telling him he'd make it through even when he wanted to quit. Laura's always been the dependable one, the fixer, the sister who shows up no matter what. So when her mom sent out a group text about Tommy's graduation party, Laura assumed she'd be there, front and center, celebrating her brother's big day. The text came on a Tuesday morning, while Laura was sipping coffee and grading essays. "Hey everyone," Yuku, her mom wrote. "The final guest list for Tommy's graduation bash is set. Can't wait to celebrate with you all." Laura scrolled through the list. Cousins she hadn't seen in years, family friends from church, even a few distant relatives she barely remembered. But her name wasn't there. She read it again, thinking maybe she'd missed it. But no, she wasn't on the list. At first, she thought it was a mistake. I mean, she's Tommy's sister, the one who's been there through everything. How could they forget her? So she called her mom, trying to keep her voice steady. "Hey, Mom," she said. "I didn't see my name on the party list. Is that a typo or something?" There was a long pause on the other end, the kind that makes your stomach drop. "Oh, honey," her mom finally said, her tone too cheerful. Tommy wanted it to be more of a young crowd. You know, his college friends. That kind of vibe. We figured you'd understand. Meh. Understand? Understand what? That her own brother didn't want her at his graduation party. That her family thought she'd just nod and smile while they left her out. Laura's hands started shaking, but she kept her voice calm. "What about Sarah being there?" she asked. Sarah was Laura's ex-best friend, the one who'd betrayed her 2 years ago by starting a relationship with Tommy. Just months after Laura and Sarah had a falling out over a business deal gone wrong. Laura hadn't spoken to Sarah since, and the thought of her being at the party, while Laura was excluded, felt like a knife in her chest. "Well," her mom said, her voice faltering, "we didn't want things to be awkward. You know, with you and Sarah there together. It's not personal. Laura, don't make this a thing. Don't make this a thing." Laura hung up without saying another word, her heart pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. She sat there for a long time, staring at the wall, her thoughts spiraling. This wasn't just about a party. This was years of showing up, of sacrificing, of being the one they could always count on. And now, when it was time to celebrate, she was the one they didn't want around. She thought about all the times she'd put her family first, the birthdays she'd organized, the Thanksgivings she'd hosted, the late-night calls when her mom needed to vent about her dad's drinking. She'd always been there, always said yes, always played the role of the dependable daughter, the supportive sister, and where had it gotten her? Excluded from her own brother's milestone, all to keep Sarah, the woman who'd betrayed her, comfortable. The more she thought about it, the more she realized that this wasn't the first time. There'd been family dinners she wasn't invited to, holidays where she'd only get a last-minute text, moments where she'd been pushed aside because it was easier for everyone else. Something inside Laura snapped. She wasn't going to sit around and wait for their approval anymore. She grabbed her laptop, opened the browser, and typed one word, Hawaii. It felt reckless, impulsive, but it also felt right. If they could throw a party without her, she could live her life without them. She booked a 5-night stay at a beachfront resort on Maui. Oceanfront suite, spa access, the works. She even splurged on a first-class ticket, something she'd never done before. For once, she wasn't budgeting for someone else's needs. She was investing in herself. Once the confirmation email came through, she let out a shaky breath, then opened Instagram and posted a photo of her flight confirmation with the caption, "Uninvited, but not unwanted. Hawaii, here I come." The next morning, Laura packed her bags with a quiet defiance she hadn't felt in years. Every sundress, every pair of sandals she folded into her suitcase felt like a declaration. She was done being the family's doormat. At the airport, she moved through the chaos with a strange calm. Earbuds in, playlist on, sunglasses hiding the exhaustion in her eyes. She boarded early, settled into her first-class seat. Leather, vide, plush, and ordered a glass of champagne as the plane took off. She snapped a quick photo of her outstretched legs, drink in hand, and posted it with the caption, "Cheers to being cut off and flying first class." But for the first time in a long time, Laura felt free. By the time she landed in Maui, her phone was buzzing with notifications. Her cousin Jenny texted, "Okay, Queen, go off." Her friend Dan messaged, "They didn't invite you. That's messed up. You deserve better." But the one that made her blood boil was from Sarah. A reply to her Instagram story. "Glad you found something to do." We didn't want drama anyway. Laura's jaw clenched. Sarah wasn't just okay with her absence. She was celebrating it. And her family was letting go. Laura didn't reply. She turned off her notifications, poured herself a glass of wine from the minibar in her suite, and stepped out onto the balcony. The ocean stretched out before her, endless and turquoise, the air warm and salty. She was done letting them make her feel small. The next few days were a blur of peace. Laura woke up to the sound of waves, sipped coffee on her balcony, walked barefoot on the beach as the sun rose. She posted a photo of the ocean with the caption, "Cut from the guest list, but not from happiness." Her phone kept buzzing. Messages from her mom, Tommy, even Sarah. But she ignored them all. Then, on the third day, she got a call from Jenny. "You're not gonna believe this." "Yeah," Jenny said, her voice a mix of shock and amusement. "The party was a disaster." Laura raised an eyebrow, sipping her morning mimosa. "What happened?" Jenny laughed. "Where do I even start?" Tommy and Sarah got into a huge fight in front of everyone. He accused her of cheating. She slapped him, stormed out, and took his car. Then Aunt Linda slipped on the patio trying to break it up, twisted her ankle, and Grandma started crying, saying the family was cursed. Oh, and Tommy got drunk, grabbed the mic from the DJ, and gave a speech about betrayal before they dragged him off stage. Laura couldn't help but laugh, a real, deep laugh that felt like a release. This was the party they'd excluded her from, the one they thought she'd ruin with her drama. And now they were falling apart without her. Jenny kept going. "Aunt Linda said it wouldn't have happened if you'd been there. You're the only one who can calm Tommy down when he gets like that. Your mom even said maybe they should have invited you after all." Laura shook her head, staring out at the ocean. They'd cut her out to avoid drama, and now they were blaming her absence for the chaos they'd created. She didn't feel angry, though she felt free. "They're planning a family meeting when you get back," Jenny added. Laura smirked. "That's not happening." She opened her laptop, extended her trip by another 5 days, and posted a photo of palm trees against a clear blue sky. Sometimes peace means choosing to stay gone. This story's for anyone who's ever been taken for granted, who's given everything to their family, only to be pushed aside when it's convenient. Maybe it's time to stop waiting for their approval and start living for yourself. Laura did, and she found something better than a party. She found peace. Hits home, doesn't it? I bet some of you have stories about being left out. Drop them in the comments. I read everyone. Subscribe for more tales like this. I'm here every day with stories from Reddit and beyond. So stick around. See you next time.